Hi, my name's Lee Matthews and I'm a physiotherapist, and this is Pilates Rehab Relax. So don't forget to click the like button and subscribe for all of my latest content. So this is step 4 of the Rehab Staircase. It's a graded exercise program that's aimed to try and build up your strength and tolerance of doing your normal daily activities, where you might be building towards doing something like going back towards the gym, or it might even be going to play with your grandchildren and be able to walk after them a little bit quicker. So it's 10 exercises, they're all 1 minute long, and for the 4th step, these are a mixture of standing exercises with light support. So we will have a chair near us, and you do need to make sure it's a chair that's secure, safe, without wheels on it. So a nice sturdy dining room chair would be a good one to go for. There will be 2 exercises that are in seated as well. If you're not confident, then definitely start with a 3rd step where there's a little bit more support and a little bit more of the exercises are in the chair. But if you're feeling willing to have a go, then by all means. And again, if you're uncertain, then just do 30 seconds of the exercises. So as I count through the minute, I'll always mark out the 30-second point. And it might be, if you're not sure, that you just start by working at a gentle pace. You work at your level. I don't mind if you get lightly breathless doing the exercises, but you should be able to speak normally and in full sentences. So if you've got to the point where you're so out of puff that you can't really catch your breath, then you might be pushing a little bit too hard and you might just need to slow down the intensity of your exercise. So work at your pace, follow any guidance you've been given, but these are nice gentle exercises to slowly start to build up your legs, work on your balance, and get you a bit more able to do things like get out of the chair or go up the stairs a little bit easier. So we'll begin. So I'm going to use my mobile phone to count through each minute. The first exercise we're going to do is circling in standing. So I want your feet about hip width apart, and we can be near the back of our chair for this one. And I'll start the timer. There we go. So what I'm going to do, either near the chair or just with light touch there, we're going to practice making some small circles, if that's just. We're going to try and work our ankle muscles and test our balance reaction. So if you're uncertain of your ability to stand independently, then have a chair behind you and the table in front, and that way if you need to sit down or if you fall backwards, you've got something there. And the other thing is, you could always have someone around with you the first few times you do these, just to make sure you're safe. So that's half a minute. We've changed direction, but again, you work at your pace. So it might be really big circles you're doing, it might be just really baby circles, and that's fine as well. So again, if you were lacking confidence with your balance, it might even be you just hold on to the chair to begin with, either with light touch or with the back of the hands. But you'll get more out of your exercise, and it will strengthen the ankles more if you don't hold on. So for our next exercise, we're going to do some gentle knee bends holding onto the back of the chair. That might be a firm grip, it might just be light touch, or you might be just stood next to the chair. So I'll start the stopwatch and we'll get started. So my knees are about hip width apart. I'm going to do a gentle knee bend, keeping my back nice and straight, and back up again. So you work at your pace. You might just do a really small knee bend, or you might be confident going down a little bit lower there. And hopefully you can feel that working on the front of your thighs there. So again, you use your hands as you need to. So we're nearly at the half-minute point. There we go. So that's half a minute. If you're doing the full minute though, keep on going. And it might be just near the chair for some support. Again, if you lack confidence, have a table in front of you and a chair behind. And it might even be that you've got someone nearby just in case you need some help. There we go, we're nearly at the 4 minutes. There we go. So that was our gentle knee bends. The next exercise we're going to do is marching. And so again, the amount of arm support you use is up to you really. And it might be just little baby steps you're taking, or it might be bigger steps than that. So again, you're the boss with these. You've got to decide on the intensity that's right for you. So we'll start the stopwatch. And again, you might be just hovering your hands near that secure chair in front of you, or it might be you're holding on with a bit more of a firm grip there. So the the pace of your walking, how brisk your walking is, that's down to you, and that's going to place a little bit of a challenge on our heart and lungs. So again, I don't mind you getting lightly breathless, but don't make yourself fit for nothing for the rest of the day. Yeah. So that's half a minute. So again, if you're independent with it, you might even add some gentle arm activity in there as well. And again, it's just going to get our heart and lungs working a little bit, maybe make us a little bit breathless to go with it. Just a few more seconds. There we go. So that was our marching on the spot for 1 minute. Now we're going to move on to doing some little lunges. So again, I'm going to have the chair beside me and I've got hold of that, so you've got some support. You might even have a table or a chair the other side, so that when we stride forwards, you've got that bit of hand support as you need it, yeah? And again, how big your strides are is going to determine the difficulty of the exercise that you're doing there. So if you've got a grumbly knee, it might be that you're quite gentle and just do a very small lunge, but if you're quite confident, you might do a much bigger lunge than that. So we'll get the stopwatch going. Here we go. And as I'm marching there, I'm trying to make sure my knee stays over the front foot there. So what I don't want is you going all wobbly on your knee and drifting inwards there. So just nice and controlled. Nearly at the half a minute point, just a few more seconds for that. There we go, so that's 30 seconds. So if you're just doing 30 seconds, you can stop there and wait for the next exercise. The rest of us are going to keep on going. We can see the full minute here. Just a few more seconds. There you go. So that was 1 minute of lunges holding the back of the chair. So remaining in standing, I'm going to bring myself, so I'm leaning over the chair. Again, you might be even leaning on a table or like your kitchen worktop in front of you. And what I'm aiming to do for the next exercise is I'm going to bring my leg out behind me and tap the toe on the floor, and then do the same again on the other side. So it's a toe tap behind us that we're looking for. So let me start the stopwatch and we'll get going. So we're working those bottom muscles. And again, if you're not very good with your standing balance, if you're leaning over the counter, you can put more weight through then, can't you? This chair back's probably not giving me as much support as that. So that's half a minute there. If you're just doing 30 seconds, you can stop now. The rest of you, keep on going with your toe taps. And you'll be pleased to know the next ones are in seated. There we go. So that's our toe taps behind us. So I'm going to bring myself into sitting now. So for the next exercise, we're going to be doing a gentle exercise for our tummy muscles, our obliques. And the way we're going to exercise those, if we take a hand and we place it over the opposite knee and apply some resistance there, I'm going to hold it for a second or so and then do the same to the opposite side there. If you've got any hand problems, it might actually be that you apply pressure through the back of your wrist instead there. So don't make your hands or your wrists sore, but you work again to your own level of ability there. So let me get the stopwatch started. There we go. So I can't promise you'll end up with a six-pack from doing these, but if we can get our tummy muscles a little bit stronger, then we know that it will help to support our back. And we need those muscles when we're standing to do our normal daily activities in the kitchen, for walking, And if you've got underlying wear and tear changes, if you keep those muscles strong, it can really be helpful as well. So that's half a minute now. If you're just doing the 30 seconds, you can stop there. But the rest of you keep on going. So hopefully you can feel that in your tummy muscles on each side as you do the exercise. Just a few more seconds. Okay, and that was our pushing into the opposite knee there. So what we're now going to do is sitting to standing. So I'm going to find myself in a position where I've got my bottom towards the edge of the chair there. Again, we're trying to mimic good patterns of normal movement there. So nobody sits out of a chair by having the bottom there. You need to have your bottom forwards in the chair. Your nose needs to be over the toes. Now, if we were going to increase the challenge, we're going to do it without using our arms, but I would say that if you need to use your arms to be safe, then that's absolutely fine. So you either push up through the chair or you push up through your knees. Don't be pushing or pulling up from the surface in front of you, because that's not safe. So if you lack confidence, have a table in front of you, and just use your arms as you need to, as it's safe to do so. So there we go. Stand up and sit down again. So again, you work at your pace. You might just literally do 2 or 3 of these and find you can't do any more, and that's fine. But you build on it. So if you can manage the full 30 seconds, good. If you can manage the full 60 seconds, even better. There we go. So that's 30 seconds. But if you're doing the full minute, keep on going. Almost there. There we go. So that was our minute of sitting to standing. So we're now going to bring ourselves back into standing up again. I'm going to turn my chair around so you can see me a bit easier. And what I'm looking to do with the next exercise is sidestepping. So I'm going to be holding the back of the chair, and I'm basically going to do 2 steps one way and then 2 steps the other. So you might have a nice table or kitchen worktop in front of you, and then you can use that as far more support. And again, you use your hands as you need to. You might have your hands on all the time. You might just have them hovering nearby just in case you need that support. So let me start the stopwatch. I'll start from over here and we're off. 1, 2, back, 2. So if you do need support, that's fine. If you don't, then by all means have the hands by your side. And you could even add a little bit of a cardio element by doing the arms as well. I might get some strange looks from the neighbours doing this. So we're up to the 30-second point. If you're just doing 30 seconds, stop there. But again, whether you're using the arms, whether you're just holding onto the back of the chair or the table you're in front of, then that's fine. And again, small steps are just as good as big steps. You know, you work at your individual abilities and try and keep the pelvis nice and level when you're doing this. When we start striding, we want to just try and maintain a level pelvis. There we go. So that was the full minute of sidestepping. So for our next exercise, we're going to do some arm circles. Now, I'm going to use the wall and I'm going to lean against the wall here. So here we go. Find yourself a place where you, and you could even just do them stood independently. So if your balance is really good, then it might actually be that you can just do the full arm circle standing independently. Have a chair in front of you if you need it though. The other way we can do it, as I say, with just a little bit of support, is we can still have that chair in front of us, but we could just lean against the wall as we're doing this. So I'm lifting my arms up to the ceiling and then down and out to the side there. So again, you find what's safe. You could even do these in seated, so don't feel that you need to put yourself in a precarious position. Just, there you go. So, and we can even synchronize our breathing. Big breath in, and then out to the side. And if you've got a bad shoulder, it might be you just literally do smaller circles just at shoulder height, or you might even just do one arm and not the other. So you work at your own level of ability again. So we've just gone past the half a minute point. Nearly there. And the good news is there's only one exercise left, you'll be pleased to know. There we go. So that was 1 minute of making arm circles. So for the final exercise we're going to do, it's going to be a push-up against the wall. So again, you might have a chair behind you. You know, if you're feeling confident and just need the support of a wall, then that's absolutely fine. But I'm going to stand about arm length away from the wall. I'll start my stopwatch, and we're going to lean in towards the wall and then push ourselves away from it. So this is a really good exercise for strengthening our shoulder, but we're actually also using some of our muscles in our tummy and our back when we do this as well. And it's a good one for keeping the bingo wings at bay. So we're approaching 30 seconds, but we're not quite there yet. There we go, so that's the 30-second mark. Just a few more seconds left. There we go, and that's us done. So how was that? How did you find it? If you found it was easy and you did the full 60 seconds of all of them, it might be you're ready for the 5th step of the rehab staircase. But don't rush, and it might be that you just build and consolidate your strength and your endurance until you feel a bit more confident. So, you know, if you were unsure, stick with the 30 seconds, and it might be that you gradually start to increase some of those to 45 or 60 seconds. It might be that you add difficulty in terms of the variation that you did with the exercise, add a little bit of cardio in, or increase the difficulty slightly. You always work to your level of ability, and I'd much rather know you were doing a little bit of exercise each day than doing one bit of exercise and then struggling for days afterwards. Just pick the right amount, slowly build on it, and hopefully, you know, if you're doing really well and if you don't have any other significant problems, it might well be that you can progress towards that 5th step there. And for the next step, we're going to actually do more stuff in standing, and I think we start to introduce some other levels of difficulty there as well. If you were looking to try and find other alternatives and got bored of doing these exercises, you know, there are alternative Pilates routines. You could start with the 5 gentle exercises in standing. You could look at a full routine at a gentle pace with the Pilates in standing. So I'll pop some links up at the end here. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.